I have two daughters, Ella 23 and Lana 18, fake names. Growing up, Ella and Lana were very close, but this all changed once they became teenagers. In high school, Ella always worked really hard and got amazing grades. She did exceptionally. She was, however, very shy and kind of nerdy and struggled with insecurities regarding her appearance and didn't make friends easily. She didn't date at all in high school and never received much attention from boys her age, and even dealt with some aggression during high school. She did finish high school as valedictorian, at the absolute top of her whole graduating class. She worked so hard and secured admittance into her dream school with scholarships. I could not have been more proud of her. In contrast, Lana is super popular. She runs track, has lots of friends, and receives a lot of attention from boys. She goes on dates and has an active social life. Despite being popular, she still struggles academically. She is dyslexic and had to work really hard just to pass her classes. She is class of 2024, and even though she is not valedictorian, I'm still super proud of her. Problems started when Ella went away to college. Her freshman year, she started dating Adam. This was her first time receiving any attention from a guy, and she fell fast and hard. I would even go so far as to say she was infatuated with Adam. In her eyes, Adam could do no wrong, and he was just the greatest thing ever. When we would talk, all of her conversations revolved around her and Adam, and she asked if she could bring Adam home over winter break. Of course I said yes, and welcomed Adam into my home. Adam was not as great as she made him out to be. I did not like the way he treated her or spoke about her. He was disrespectful towards me, and spent most of his time in my home hitting on Lana, who at the time was only 14. To her credit, Lana had no interest in Adam, and spent winter break avoiding him. Until one night, Adam tried to go into Lana's room in the middle of the night. Lana freaked out and started screaming, and then yelling at Adam, which woke myself and Ella up. This was my last straw, and I kicked Adam out of my house. Ella was absolutely devastated, but she placed blame on everyone but Adam. She was mad at her sister for trying to steal her boyfriend. She was mad at me for kicking the love of her life out of the house and telling her that he was a pedophile and never allowed back in my house. After I kicked Adam out, he decided he had enough and broke up with Ella. Ella had a lot of resentment towards Lana for ruining her relationship and trying to steal her boyfriend. Since then, Ella has moved on. She lost a lot of weight, which helped with her self-confidence, which led her to going out more and meeting a wonderful guy, Eric, and she fell in love again. Eric and her were together through college, and Eric proposed right after graduation. I'm not super close to Eric, but he seems like a decent guy, and he loves Ella. He is respectful and polite every time I've been around him. As long as Ella is happy, and in what seems to be a healthy relationship, I'm happy for her. Now, I've always tried to treat Ella and Lana equally, and never favor one over the other. I've always been present at all of their activities and any major life events. I've gone to every track meet for Lana and every debate for Ella. I was there for Ella's high school graduation and for her college graduation. The only event I ever missed was, unfortunately, a huge event for Ella. In high school, there was an exam that was given to Latin students nationally, and she scored the highest in the state, and her score had an award ceremony where she was honored. It was a pretty big deal. It was one of her proudest moments, and she still considers it one of her biggest achievements, as it was something that was unique to her. The only reason I missed it is because I was in the hospital in the ICU for a very severe case of pneumonia that went septic. I spent almost 2 weeks in the hospital, and half of that time was in the ICU on a ventilator and heavily sedated. I felt terrible, but this really was out of my control, and if I could have been there, I would have done anything to see her accept her honors. She was a bit sad that I could not be there, but at the same time, she understood. Despite understanding at the time, she has since thrown this back on me. Since the whole Adam incident, she is convinced that I love and favor Lana more than her. This is where things get even more complicated, and I'm going to be the a-hole. Both girls went to a rather small private school. The way this school does graduation is somewhat different. Since their classes are so small, they do a graduation ceremony in August after summer school courses are finished, so all the kids in summer school are able to attend a graduation ceremony. And since they do 2 separate ceremonies, all graduation ceremonies take place in August. So Lana's graduation ceremony is going to be held August 10th, even though her last day of school was June 7th. This is not new, and how this school has always done things, and Ella knows this because this is how it was for her too. I've known for a while that Ella and Eric have been planning their wedding, but it was supposed to be next year sometime. Imagine my surprise when I got a wedding invitation, and the date is for August 10th. I called Ella immediately and asked her what was up with the change of date and reminded her that her sister's graduation was also on the 10th. She confirmed that she was planning to have her wedding later that year, but an opening became available at her dream venue, and she just could not pass on it. And since it was the last minute, the venue is giving them a big discount. She claims that the fact it was Lana's graduation day completely slipped her mind in the moment, and that it was not intentional. Again, I might be the a-hole for asking her if she could change the date. She said she could not change the date as the venue is booked out for the next few years, and she has already sent out the invitations. They are planning for the wedding themselves, but I offered to pay for the venue at the next opening, or pay for a completely different venue, and to help call guests if she would reschedule. Emotions were high, and we ended up fighting. But it comes down to the fact that she wants me at her wedding to walk her down the aisle, and that I always favor Lana, and I missed her other big achievement, and I've never missed any of Lana's events. So I should make things even, and skip Lana's graduation and attend the wedding. She also said that if I choose to miss her wedding and confirm favoritism towards Lana, that she will go no contact with me. I won't get to see her get married or have children or have a relationship with my future grandchildren. Now, on the other hand, I have Lana. She is convinced that her sister is still holding a grudge against her and intentionally scheduled her wedding for the same day. She says that if I give in to Ella's manipulation and miss her graduation, that she will never forgive me. She goes away for college just a few weeks after graduation and says that will be it. She's tired of me favoring Ella by not calling her on her manipulation and always letting Ella be mad at her and put blame on her for things that aren't her fault. She pointed out how hard she worked just to be able to graduate, and this is a huge thing for her. And if I miss it, she will go away to college and she won't be coming back. She thinks that if I don't go to her graduation, that I'm picking Ella over her and letting Ella get her way with everything, and proving that Ella really is the favorite and always will be. Now I have to choose between both of my daughters at the risk of losing the other daughter. I should mention that both the graduation and wedding are the same day and in the same time frame, and that the wedding is about a 5-hour drive, so it's not like I can go to the graduation and miss the wedding but still show up for the reception. I can pick one and alienate the other, or I cannot show up to either and lose them both. I'm at a complete loss, and I see both sides. I would love nothing more than to walk my daughter down the aisle on her wedding day, but I'm equally so proud of Lana, and I want to be there and see her walk and get her diploma. This is absolutely eating me up, and I'm not able to sleep because I just feel like an a-hole and a failure as a mother no matter what I do. 100%, I don't believe Ella is being truthful about the date or being booked out. Ask yourself, does this sound like something Ella would do on purpose to stick it to her kid sister? I can tell you from what I read in your post, it does sound like something she would 100% do. Call the venue, find out yourself what their scheduling is like. Her ex almost, or pretty much did try to assault your youngest daughter in your home, and her reaction speaks volumes. At this point, I'd probably rather just go to Lana's, as I know 100% she is innocent in all of this. Not the a-hole. I can't believe you missed Ella's big achievement because you were septic and on a ventilator. Ella making you feel guilty for almost dying is extremely manipulative. Ella knew what she was doing and 100% scheduled her wedding on the day of Lana's graduation. Also, you were aware of Lana's graduation prior to Ella sending out invites. You go to the graduation because your daughter had no control over the date. Ella deliberately scheduled the wedding on the same date. You can show up after the graduation ceremony and be at the reception to celebrate with your older daughter, who is trying to manipulate you. Not the a-hole for missing the wedding planned on the date of your youngest daughter's graduation. You would be the a-hole if you missed the graduation. My sister has always been jealous of me. When we were younger, whenever I achieved anything, she would tell me that everyone hates me and other terrible things. I never said anything back because I realized where it was coming from, and because we have a fairly large age difference. But sometimes my parents overheard and disciplined her, which made her hate me even more. For the past 5 years, we got along great on the surface. I made a point to spend time with her, watch movies, teach her how to do makeup, let her come stay with me at college and introduce her to all my friends, take her to parties, etc. I would never confide in her because of our age differences, so we have never been close in the way my friends and I are close, but we almost always got along, unless I achieved something to make her jealous, and then she was horrible to me. Oftentimes, she would achieve the same thing later on, and I would congratulate and be supportive of her. But I always felt a little annoyed that I was robbed of that support, but need to provide it. Now I am getting married. I thought maybe she had grown up now. I have lots of friends, but chose my sister to be maid of honor, because one day I hope to have a close relationship with her, and I realize the age difference will be less and less as we get older, and because I come from a close-knit family. I did not think that her jealous streak would come out again, because she has a new boyfriend and she is younger and not expecting to be married yet. She didn't congratulate me when she found out about my engagement, just started telling me the things I couldn't do at my wedding because she was going to do at hers: colors, hairstyles, music, etc. I tried to respect some of the things and didn't do them, even though I wanted to. I did not ask her opinion on anything or to help with anything, because I knew she was only looking out for her own future wedding. However, my mom asked her opinion on my hairstyle when we were all together one time, and she stated that I could not do this one hairstyle that I love, and it was something I did want to do, and said so. She was so upset and angry, but I decided to put my foot down this time. She claimed it was her idea because she said it first, but I haven't even started to plan that aspect of my wedding yet and didn't open the discussion on it in the first place. She is also trying to get me to let her wear a dress that is super flashy and different from the rest of the bridesmaids, and I said no to that too. I don't think I am being a bridezilla. I just want to do the wedding the way I want to. I am paying for it after all. I am not sure what to do. She is not doing hardly anything for the wedding except planning the games for the shower and writing a speech, and that's totally fine. I don't expect anything. But I just wish she would stop being so jealous. I am not so much worried about the wedding as what this means for our relationship going forward. I don't think she has once been happy for me or congratulated me on anything in her entire life, while I always congratulate and support her. My only wish is that we could truly be friends and supportive of each other. I also worry that it's my fault somehow because I am the older sister. Maybe there's something I could have done earlier to put her at ease. Do you think our relationship will ever get better in the future? Is there anything I can do to move this along? I would try having a heart-to-heart, but she would never ever admit that she is jealous. Are you sure you want to let her give a speech? If she never has anything good to say about you, and she's having power struggles with you over your wedding, it seems likely that will come out in the speech. It might be a good idea to move her speech to the rehearsal dinner, or ask your mother to read her sister's speech beforehand or something. As for the sibling relationship, I think what you've been doing is the right approach. Keep her at something of a distance, but keep trying from time to time to have positive experiences together. At 20, she still has a lot of growing up to do. But if you are never close, life will still go on. One thing you might try is to pay more attention to how your parents talk about both you and your sister and treat you both. Maybe the core of her jealousy comes from their comparisons between the two of you. If so, you probably have to address it and start combating it before the sister relationship can become more healthy. My family is incredibly wealthy. They used to own a lot of property in New York City that they bought for dirt cheap in the 1970s and recently sold it. All of it. They made an absolutely tremendous amount of money. I don't want to reveal the exact amount for privacy purposes, but it was about $30+ million. Most of it went to my parents. Some of it went to my aunt. But really, my parents live in a low-cost house in upstate New York and have zero need for money, so they tend to give me a large amount. Last month, they kept pushing me to leave my current apartment for an apartment in Soho that is $4,000 a month that they wanted to get for me. I told them I was fine where I was, but they have zero qualms about giving me a lot of it. That happened when I was about 21 to 23 years old when they started selling off the property. So I started dating Alex last year, and it's been 7 months into our relationship, and we are really into each other. There's only one issue. Alex is pretty damn lazy. He works at a dull minimum wage job, and when he wants, he likes to spend all day inside smoking pee and playing video games. This never affected our relationship, but it was a bit upsetting to see just how lazy he could be when it came to work or just productivity in general. I technically don't work many hours, but I do passion projects. For instance, I am an assistant art teacher at a museum for young kids, and I am in a band, and I am training to be a Zumba instructor. and I go to the gym for about an hour every day. Not like I work that hard, but at least I have some passion, you know? He doesn't have to work. I understand this. We are planning on moving in together, my parents of course subsidizing the apartment completely, and he just brought it up that he doesn't want to work anymore. He said he knows that what he earns is maybe 5% of what my parents will be giving us, and that he feels it is draining his life away at a worthless job that doesn't even matter in the long run, if none of it even goes to anything. He is very well aware of my parents' ridiculous wealth, and at the last dinner we had with them, my parents were basically flaunting off just how much they could give us. Alex is from Ukraine. He doesn't have an education. And when he brought that up, my parents said they would be more than happy to pay for his tuition if he wants. He agreed, but at first he said he would pay it himself, and I insisted he accept the money. Either way, the semester doesn't start until September, so that is a while away. So needless to say, Alex is very well aware of how privileged I am, and how much my parents are more than willing to give me money if I need it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they said no if I asked for $20 million for any reason. They live ridiculously frugally. Either way, I told Alex that he can quit if he wants, but now I am having second thoughts. Like, he already is really lazy. Now he's going to have no job? What is this guy going to be doing all day? I'm just going to be subsidizing his lifestyle with my parents' money? I know that this would be like a small minor fraction of what I get. But still, I feel weird about the idea of it, you know? Am I really going to start giving this man I've dated for 7 months money for his life? At the same time, I feel bad, because I would be making this poor immigrant from Ukraine go back to his brutal minimum wage job, just because I am too selfish to give my boyfriend money? I don't know. I am split. I thought about maybe getting him into some hobbies, but if they aren't necessary, I doubt he would do them. I don't want to be the type of person to force their boyfriend to do hobbies they aren't interested in, or to have Alex fake being interested in a hobby just to make me happy. I really like this guy. Like, we've known each other for over 2 years, but we're just friends before. So even though 7 months is short, it feels like much longer. But I don't want to just be giving him handouts and have him lay around the house all day. He's going to college in September. He enjoys stuff like hanging out and partying with his friends, going to galleries and clubs, or going on vacation, or being with his family. He isn't a complete loser in that regard, but he is definitely lazy when it comes to work. What am I supposed to do? I have always considered the kind of gender politics of this whole situation, and that if he was a woman, there would be basically zero question about a man subsidizing her, because it's normalized. If you don't like his behavior, stop enabling it. Money is a funny thing. It makes it hard for us to tell who's our friend, if they love us versus love our money. Money can come and go, character doesn't. Especially since this is not your money, but your parents'. When looking for a love marriage, you need to look at someone's character, not wallet. Will Alex stay if your parents decide to give all their money away in their wills? Will he teach your kids good work ethic, or to call grandpa to give a donation to Harvard, Penn for their admissions? How will you teach your kids the value of money? Or how to find purpose in life when most things, including friends, can be bought? Many American families lose their wealth within 3 generations. If your parents want it to survive for more generations, then you too need to start supporting yourselves. I, 31 male, found out a few days ago that my partner, 26 female, has made a business out of taking pregnancy tests for people. We're expecting and she's in her first trimester. This is her first pregnancy, and whenever I would see her checking out something online, it would always be parenting and pregnancy websites and blogs. So I thought nothing of her being behind the laptop a lot. Turns out she posted ads online and seems to be making a lot of money out of it. Apparently, what she does is to show up at whatever lab or clinic, hospital the person wants her to come to, and she hands the urine over when the person is asked to present a urine sample. It's either that, or she goes to labs under different names, or more accurately, the name of whoever wants the test, and does the blood HCG test. Since we still wear masks where we are, it's easy for her to get away with this. This has been done in such a way that even if the baby daddy is waiting outside or somewhere in the building, she can work her way around it. She even tells the people exactly what washroom cubicle she is in, or enters the washroom first in places where there is only one washroom, in case the father is paranoid enough to follow, and it'll be just her and the person who wants the urine sample in the cubicle. I found out because she uses an old laptop of mine, and I'm still logged into my Google account, so I could see her search history. I asked her why she was looking up so many clinics and labs on a daily basis, because we already had one we go to, and when the excuses didn't add up, I took the laptop and saw all the appointments that had been made. I was mad because what she did was so risky for her and our baby, aside being very wrong. I can't ask her to move out because it will lead to so much drama between our families. I'm so appalled and really don't know what to do about this situation. Your partner commits fraud for a living. Is that someone you want raising your child? That's so ducked. The poor guy who gets dragged into thinking they're going to be fathers. Tell her to stop. If she doesn't and won't move out, tell her family she's ruining people's lives for a living. As someone who worked for their state public assistance office, you'd be surprised at how many people actually do this in order to get better Medicaid or state-funded health insurance. For example, the only way to get dental work under Medicaid as an adult is if you're pregnant. It's still a ducking awful thing to do, and I'm not saying that's all that it's possibly used for, but not everything is about ducking men over. My wife and I have been married for 5 years, and we currently live in a house that we are paying the mortgage of. My father is retiring and he's planning to move back to our hometown with my mother. He currently lives in my city and owns a house here. My father is doing great financially, so instead of selling the house, he is gifting it to me. He told me that he is gifting the house solely to me and that he isn't involving my wife into it. He straight up told me that this house is mine only, and it is a financial safety net for me, so I'll never have to worry no matter what happens with my marriage. The state I live in is notoriously known for screwing people over in divorces, so having this house in my name only will make sure that if my marriage were to fall apart in the future, hopefully never, I'll be safe. I am eternally grateful to my father for making sure I'll never have to worry about my financial situation again. I'll be renting the house out for now, so it's an extra source of income, and I'll always have the house to fall back on in case things go wrong. Hopefully that will be never. I'm respecting my father's wishes and keeping myself to the plan for my own good, so I'll be the sole owner of the house. My wife isn't happy about this. She said that we are married and that everything we have should be shared and there can be no exceptions. She wants me to put her name on the house, but I straight up refused. I tried to explain to her that this is my father's house and he is gifting it to me, but she still keeps bringing up the fact that her being my wife is enough for her to also have her name on it. Our names are both on the house we currently live in together, so she has assets. The house that my father is gifting me is completely detached from her, and I'm not changing that. This argument has caused some serious tension, and I don't know how to resolve this. How should I address the situation in a healthy way? Edit. The legal steps and procedures to ensure that the house will always remain mine in case of a divorce have been taken care of by my father's attorney. They reassured me that she will never have a say when it comes to the house and that I'm safe. So I don't have anything to worry about in that regard. Edit 2. I was planning to use the money I make from the new house to ease the financial load on our current house. That would benefit the both of us greatly. I don't know where you live, but in some places, if you are making money off the home or use your finances to improve the home while married, it's automatically considered marital property, whether her name is on it or not. My friend's brother is dealing with this issue in his divorce. Sounds like it's time for some marriage counseling. Clearly, you're both just waiting for the marriage to end if you're this worried about having a fallback plan, and she's so concerned about you withholding assets from her. Time to see a pro and decide if y'all even want to be together anymore.